Hey, how's it going? I just want to talk a little bit about something I saw when I was watching Cyrus Jansen here. I like to watch Cyrus Jansen sometimes. He has good foreign policy comments and discussions, and I was disappointed to see he had Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist on there. But this is kind of how the YouTube world works. They scratch each other's backs, but sometimes it makes you wonder about the quality and the honesty about the ones who are participating. You know, if you lie with dogs, expect to get fleas. Well, Andrew Henderson is definitely a flea in terms of what he offers. He talks about in very pompous tones, oh, you can work with me and apply, and I can help you be an expatriate and overseas businesses and offshore this and foreign accounts. And he appeals to the ignorant. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. He has this conference, the Nomad Capitalist Conference, and this is one he had years ago with Peter Schiff, which another guy I don't really trust all that much. He's basically a gold salesman, but you can go to Nomad Capitalist's site, look at his videos going back to the old days. He's been at this for 11 years now. His business picked up, I guess, during the remote work phase of the bad beer bug. Okay, good for him, whatever. And I wouldn't have a problem if always talking about his travel, but when he talks about things that he has some sort of inside track on legal matters and citizenship matters and expatriating and things that the average person doesn't know much about, but they hear this guy and they wind up paying a ton of money if they have just enough money to do it, and they don't get their value. And there's a lot of people out there who've reviewed on things like SiteJabber. It's a good site to go to. Trustpilot mysteriously doesn't have many negative reviews. He's managed to get those all reviewed, reviews all removed. But here, Nomad Capitalist is reviewed a little bit more across the board. Some people think it's terrific. You got to wonder who wrote those. Other people think it's not so good. And the negative reviews all seem to have the same kind of thing. They all paid anywhere from $18,000 to $25,000 in some cases. Basically had a couple of Skype sessions with him, and then they were pawned off to an admin assistant who acted like a middleman between lawyers and accountants to do things, but the things didn't wind up getting done because this guy was busy making videos, not really following up. And you see the word like fraud and con artist. And of course the rejoinder is usually, oh, we checked our database and we don't have a client named Call in the past year. Well, the client who got ripped off isn't going to want to put their real name on a review like this because it's embarrassing enough to get ripped off once. Plus, they don't want to get ripped off again. But you can go meet his team for yourself and see, okay, he's got the team worldwide. That's very good. The leadership. By the way, only a few of these people have links going to their actual bios. This person here has an accounting background, but most of the people don't have any kind of, not even this guy, have any kind of background linked. This is an HR person. She's got a background, but most of the rest do not. And I've noticed a pattern here. There are a lot of mostly young, mostly female, and mostly somewhat attractive. And of course, this is appealing to the market. These are middle-aged guys in America who think, maybe if I move to Eastern Europe, I can get a girl like her. Right. So that's what's going on here. These people are mostly marketing. In fact, you can take a look at the marketing and sales, client success. That's one category. But then you go to business and finance. Again, you'd think the business and finance people, accountants would have backgrounds. They don't. Of course, again, all female, tend to be attractive. Sales and marketing. These are the YouTube people. Sales team, email associate, client relationship, video editors, YouTube channel manager, editor, SEO associate. You see that this is all about YouTube and impressing the ignorant. And of course, then they want to sell you a service, which is citizenship by descent, which he cannot help you with. He can't give you residency in another country. You don't need him. You go to the country website and figure out how to do it. He can't help you citizenship by marriage. You got to go find your own wife and do that. He can't help you get a student visa. You have to go to the school and do that. So what does this really do? Again, he's a middleman. He charges a lot more money than he really can be justified in charging, and you'll find out later on a lot of people really aren't all that happy, and it's starting to finally come back to him. But the events that he sells are not, it's not just the people trying to actually move overseas, but he sells the idea of being overseas. This one here, upcoming, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, September 25th to 28th, 90% sold out. Okay, that right there is false scarcity. You can buy one, book your seat. Yeah, it's about $3,500 to get in there. Oh, look, the VIP tickets are all sold out. And I'm sure if you wanted one, he'd sell it to you. But anyway, if you take a look at who goes there, this is what was more disappointing. Okay, Kitco, she's a journalist. This guy's CEO of AirAsia. I don't know what they had to pay him to show up, but that's what your money's buying. Safdin Ammous, I'm disappointed to see him there. He wrote a really good book, The Bitcoin Standard. Nigel Farage, I'm not surprised to see him there. He's running the speaker circuit as much as he can. Federal Reserve Insider. What does that mean? This person worked for the Federal Reserve in what capacity? She's not former senior executive service or anything, I don't think. Doug Casey, he's another one who's been riding the gold bug train for years. Okay, so you got Miss Indonesia there. You got his dad showing up. That's all good. And most of the rest of the people are YouTubers. Is it really worth paying $3,500 to go see this? I guess you can, but you don't need that if you want to be an expatriate. That's fine. But it made me start thinking about the great financial crisis. There were people just like this in the real estate business. One of them was called Robert G. Allen, and he was found out to be a fraud. This is from John T. Reed's website. He did a breakdown on Robert G. Allen and how his empire just fell apart. His bankruptcies and just everything he promised, wound up being illegal tax advice in some cases. But one of the things that stuck with me, a former employee of Robert G. Allen said, "I'm concerned that our students are not using the real estate information we're teaching them after the course is over." And Robert G. Allen said to him wearily, "We're not in the real estate information business, Mark. This is show business." And that's exactly what's going on here. This is show business. Now, somebody finally got fed up and sued him. And of course, he's no longer an American. He renounced his citizenship. I can get to that in a second. He renounced his citizenship in 2017, but curiously, he also started this business, this LLC, in 2017 with his name on there as the manager in Arizona. 2028 East Bend White Boulevard, number 240. Okay, let's keep that address in mind. But the point is, if you're going to expatriate in that year, 2017, and you start a business, you're trying to kind of have your cake and eat it too, it looks like. Here's where the business is located. 2028 East Bend White Boulevard, number 240. Scan Mailboxes Solutions. That's basically where you can receive mail. They scan it and they send it to you no matter where you are in the world. Okay, and like I said, at the tail end of 2017, I renounced my U.S. citizenship. He didn't say which citizenship he got, but he renounced it. Okay, he renounced it the same year that he opened up an Arizona LLC. You can see it right there in the Federal Register. He renounced his citizenship. Henderson, where is it? Henderson, there you go. Andrew James Henderson. So it's a real deal. He did renounce it. He's not lying about that. But again, he doesn't say where it is. These are places that he deals with regularly, I guess. Dublin, Kuala Lumpur, which one is he a citizen of? Doesn't say here. But he does show this address at Penrose Quay in Ireland. Now, I'm guessing if he has a relative from Ireland, he could have gotten citizenship that way. I don't know, maybe something else, but it doesn't really matter all that much. He's been sued by someone who got fed up, and he tried to say that the laws didn't apply since the terms of the agreement specify choice of law being in Hong Kong. Well, unfortunately, whoever drafted those terms of agreement, which his client signed, didn't do such a good job. The form selection provision, this is from another YouTuber, by the way, the form selection Mr. Henderson relies on does not apply to him. If it was meant to, it would have referenced him along with the contracting parties as the provisions of the contract expressly do. He's subject to this court's jurisdiction. So the court in Arizona has ruled that Henderson is subject to that jurisdiction. It's just dumb. I mean, why would you, if you're going to expatriate, go and create an LLC in America in your own name? I mean, if his lawyer knew all those facts and still drafted the terms to have choice of law in Hong Kong, that's a major oversight. And since he is what they are called purposely availing himself of this jurisdiction, that's what the court looked at. They say he's purposefully availing himself of Arizona, and he's marketing himself to Americans. And he did that, and he's trying to say, oh, no, I'm a foreigner, and the choice of law is Hong Kong. Well, the court didn't buy it. So, case is proceeding. Here's the calendar. Andrew Henderson, defendant, a few days ago, scheduling order, August 13th. So, not sure when the actual trial is going to happen, but it's a civil trial. He'll probably have to settle. Don't know where it's going to go from here, but the point is, this person, who, by the way, I can show you the complaint, Rob Sullivan, an individual, Nomad Capitalist, he paid the guy $25,000 for to provide residency, financial, investment planning, and related services. Now, is there anything in that team that screams financial advice or investment planning? I didn't see it. Not even an accountant that can qualify for that. I don't think so. So and they were supposed to pay $27,500 additional. That they had expertise in obtaining Swiss residency permits, and their attorneys, quote unquote, were working on obtaining Swiss work permit for Mr. Sullivan, and they would assist Mr. Sullivan in opening bank accounts in Switzerland, setting up Swiss. You can fly to Switzerland yourself and open up an account. Is it going to be that easy as an American these days? Maybe not, but you do not need these people to do it for you. And if you do, well, then hire a lawyer or someone who's an expert in Switzerland to help you do it. Well, anyway, the allegations: consumer fraud, breach of contract, and unjust enrichment. So one of the things that should have screamed at this guy is when he was supposed to pay by wiring the money. That right there is a red flag. I've worked with lawyers before. Nobody has ever asked me to wire them money. I don't care if the lawyer's overseas. They can accept Visa. They can accept MasterCard. Some of them even take American Express. They can take checks. You can do something else. Wiring the money is just a way to make it harder to recover. So that right there is what he should have seen. Whoops. And it's obvious to those who know a little better, and maybe this guy didn't, but this is exactly who he's targeting. He's targeting the people who are not, Social Security people with not much to their name. He's targeting the people who are maybe baby boomers and not really 100 millionaires, but maybe they've got $10 million. Maybe they've sold a few properties, done well for themselves, and now they want to look at going overseas. They've thought about retiring overseas. They need a second passport. And you watch his YouTube videos, and they're well produced, and it sounds like, yeah, I want to be part of this club. I want to apply to work with him. So that's what he does. He sells an image. Think about it, though. Did this guy need to hire someone like him to expatriate? No, Andrew did not have anything to do with Eduardo Saverin renouncing his U.S. citizenship to avoid paying $700 million in U.S. taxes, which, by the way, was a smart idea for him. But he doesn't need to call people like that. He has his personal assistant. He says, hey, talk to the lawyer, and I want to look into doing this with my citizenship. What does it take me to go to overseas to Singapore, get a citizenship there? Do I have to renounce? Ask him these questions, and we can set up a meeting. Roger that, sir. We'll do it. Same thing with the accountants. Same thing with his banks. What do I go to set up this and that? People like this have money to do that. And people with $10 million, they've got the money to do it too, but they don't know they have it. So they go for somebody like this Andrew, who then rips them off. And, yeah, he is a scammer. Somebody set this website up, nomadcapitalistscam.com. I think that we're going to see this guy face a pretty serious judgment. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of his operations in Arizona. If he continues to serve people in the U.S., he's probably going to have to get much more reasonable about his rates, which I hear he's doing. He's targeting not so much the people with $10 million, but maybe the people with a few $100,000. So watch that in the marketing. Stay tuned. It's going to get interesting. Anyway, thanks for watching, and please do your own research. I mean it. Don't use him for research. Take care.